Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, all. How are we this evening? This evening. All right. Instagram, and then TikTok is next. I didn't set up TikTok yet. Oh, well. We'll live. Oh. Oh, there we go. Instagram was taking its time. All right. Instagram is back. Excellent. Actually, I'm going to see if I can even lower this a little. Because if I lower it a little, it at least, makes my eyes at a decent level that look decent. There we go. Okay, good enough. All right. Oops. All right. Now let me get TikTok going, and we are done. Did I listen to Trump in Kentucky today? I've seen snippets of it. He was going after Obama and all sorts. I mean, he was, on his usual. Something pissed him off. Clearly, he was pissed off at Obama today. Obama, Jesse Jackson. Oh my God, it was crazy. It's like, okay, dude, whatever. One sec here. All right. TikTok. 1 second, YouTubers and everybody else. We're getting TikTok ready, and then we are set. All right. And my dog is in this, I want to go on the balcony 20 times an hour mode. So she's doing that again. Will you just wait, please? I hear you, but you know what? Literally 20 times last hour, you just wanted to go walk around. I hear you, but it's annoying. Oh my God, you're annoying. You are so annoying. She wants to go look for, except that the balcony's pretty clean, so she's not finding food. But she's desperate to find food. And I'm like, that's my girl. That's my girl. All right. Let's do that one. We'll do that one. All right, TikTok is ready. Of course, TikTok turned on a filter like it always does. Why does it do this? Oh my God. Could somebody pay me $1 billion to design TikTok? Like, in what possible universe do I want you to put, like, a strong red filter on my face? Like, what? No. Like, all right, we're fine. We're fine. All right, welcome everybody. All right, I'm getting adjusted here. I think we're good now. My camera's good. Camera's good enough. And TikTok is joining us. Excellent. We've got a lot of news tonight, so we will be jumping into that shortly, but a quick hello first. Hello, TikTok. Hey, Big Pink. We are moving, we are copacetic. Let me now pull up Substack. So I've got that live. Where's me Substack? There's me Substack. There you are. All right. Oh, 5 Substackers already. Excellent. All right, Substackers, I got you now. I can see you. We are set. Everybody, thank you for the gifts on TikTok. Good evening, everybody. An orange filter. That's true. An orange filter to go with the wig. I mean, it'd be a little hard to coordinate the filter, but yes, that is true. They're adjusting the camera down. That's better. I'll stop fucking with the camera. All right, welcome everybody. TikTok, YouTube, Discord, etc. Hello all. Hello. Anyway, so welcome everybody. We've got a ton of news today. My needs are hurting me. My needs. I'm John Arvosis. Welcome. This is our show. We do this every day, Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, U.S., where we talk about the latest news. The last couple of weeks, obviously, the news has been very Iran-centric because that is a huge story. So we are going to be talking about Iran a lot again tonight. There is some other news we're going to talk about briefly, but it's a good amount. But I never can tell. Like whenever I've got like 4 pages of news, sometimes it takes half an hour, other times it takes an hour. We shall see. Is California about to get hit? Maybe. That's one of our stories tonight. Actually, that's our top story. I will get rolling right now, so thank you guys. Welcome. I always do a quick pitch for the gifts, actually for other creators too, on TikTok, YouTube, anywhere else. If you can gift people, it's actually very nice and supportive because a lot of people do this for a living, so your gifts are very well appreciated. Thank you. Last night, you were all insane. Ty was especially insane. I remember that name, but all of you guys have been really generous the last few weeks, so thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And Ty, if you're out there, that was insane. What that Ty guy did last night. That was way beyond the. He bought the most expensive gift on TikTok. I wasn't sure, but I went and looked. It was the most expensive gift. Anyway, I'll stop talking about it. But thank you. That was very incredibly generous and sweet. So, all right. Thank you for the sparkle gifts. Thank you for the hearts, seeds, and Mary. Let's get rolling, guys. Welcome. So, he's the gift goat, exactly. Let's get rolling here. So, yeah, there's an Iranian terrorist threat against the West Coast, West Coast. If we're speaking French, it's the West Coast. If you're speaking English, it's the West Coast of the United States. Don't know much more about it. There's talk about the Iranians allegedly wanting to use drones to hit California. God only knows how that's done or how it works or whatever. I mean, no idea. Oh, hey, El Ache. I did not see that came in before the show started. Thank you for that. That was very kind of you. I got a new member on YouTube. So we don't know much more about it than that. That the FBI has alerted the California government that there is a terror threat against California by the Iranians. Kind of poorly chosen, because it's not like California is very pro-Trump when it comes down to it, but whatever. Not exactly who I'd go after, California, but whatever. I'm not in charge in Tehran. What is interesting about this is, this was from an article, this might have been Politico. At the Department of, this was Political, listen to this, Politico. Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, fired several Iran specialists during a purge of roughly a dozen staff in late February who had ties to an investigation of Donald Trump. His bureau has also seen the dramatic reassignment of thousands of agents. Oh, thank you. Who's that? Sadie. Thank you. Very nice gift. Appreciate that. His bureau has also seen the dramatic reassignment of thousands of agents to immigration enforcement. They fired dozens of staffers who deal with counterintelligence on Iran. Okay? And they did it a couple of weeks ago. Why? Because those staffers had investigated Donald Trump when they, under the previous administration, so they got rid of them. So Patel fired key counterintelligence, counter-Iran staffers at the FBI a couple of weeks ago, knowing we were going to war with Iran, because Donald Trump didn't like them. Okay? Thank you. The Bureau also, thousands of FBI agents have been taken away from counterterrorism and other things they normally do to focusing on immigration. Trump took thousands of FBI agents off of terrorism and other issues that matter, off of crime fighting, to put them on immigration instead. And now that we are literally facing a terrorist threat, according to the FBI, in America, of Iran possibly trying to hit California, we don't have all the FBI agents we need. Lovely. Department of Homeland Security did the same thing. Kristi Noem reduced the staff of the Office of Intelligence and Analysis that would ordinarily focus on the kind of threats posed by Iran. Under Trump, the National Counterterrorism Center has shifted its focus to more directly address drug enforcement and Latin American cartels rather than international terrorism, rather than the real terrorism. Because they're calling the drug cartels terrorists, so they're taking all the people that would have focused on terrorism, and now they're focusing on drug cartels and immigration. Not like we're at risk now in a war or something. Trump just flip-flopped on tapping the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Literally just flip-flopped. Trump has been saying up until a couple minutes ago, he's not going to tap the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. No, he's not. Now he's going to do it now because Trump is the king of flip-flops. SPR is basically the U.S., like a lot of countries, they save oil. They buy oil and put it in the ground or wherever the hell the facility is, but they store it in a facility, lots and lots and lots of oil, so that for a rainy day, they can dump some. The idea of making this available is trying to put more supply on the market and hopefully keeping the price lower. That's the idea. But Trump had said up until today he wasn't going to do it, and now he's doing it. At the same time, the International Energy Agency said its member countries would release 400 million barrels of oil from their emergency stocks, which would be the largest distribution in history. Same idea. A lot of countries getting together. It's something like 30 or 35 countries, I read, getting together and basically putting oil on the market so that hopefully it gets prices to come down. New York Times. Ongoing, so this is about the demolition of the attack on the girls' school. Trump was still denying it today. Guys, they should just stop with this because it's just making the media cover it more that they're doing this. I don't know. Is YouTube's live. TikTok's live too, Alice. I'm watching TikTok right now. Hi, TikTok. Alice thinks you're not live. I think you're live. They're right here. Yep, I am. I'm live. TikTok likes to hide things, though, you know what I mean? So you can never tell if you can find me. The New York Times. An ongoing investigation has determined that the United States is responsible for a deadly Tomahawk missile strike on an Iranian elementary school, according to U.S. officials. Politico reports that, so first of all, the preliminary investigation has determined we're at fault. Tomahawk missile strike hit a girls' school, might have hit it twice. There were reports on that too, and killed 170 people, a lot of them young girls because it's a girls' school. And Trump immediately lied and said it was Iran. And then there started to be indications that it was us, videos of the missile. No, it wasn't us. Videos of evidence of fragments of U.S. bombs in the area. It wasn't us. Then Trump claimed yesterday famously that lots of countries have, sure it was a Tomahawk, but lots of countries have Tomahawks. The quote was, it's a very generic missile. No, it's actually an American missile. We are the only people who make Tomahawk missiles. It's our missile. Now, we sell it to, I think, 3 other countries. People yesterday were saying 4. I'm not sure whether it's 3 or 4. Japan is on the list sometimes not on the list. 3 or 4 countries we sell the Tomahawk to. That's it. Trump lied and said, oh, it could have come from anywhere because it's a generic missile. It's not a generic missile. Also, I don't think the Brits, who we sell it to, Brits, Australia, Japan. There was another country that people were mentioning, though, I thought, Gunther. UK, Australia, Japan. Do you think one of those 3 countries sold their weapons to Iran? I don't think so. Right? Do you think the UK, the Japanese, or the Australians bombed a girls' school in Japan? In Iran? No. Yeah, Netherlands was the other country that popped up. That's exactly what I was talking about, Annie. There was, thank you. That's why I said 4 countries. I remember there was a 4th one. It was the Netherlands. Yep. Any case, the Netherlands also, thank you, Gene. Very nice concert gift. Ooh, that one's going on for a while. That's a very nice one. Oh, yeah, thank you. I always tell you guys, you can tell when the gifts go on extra long that they're really nice gifts. That was cool. Thank you, Gene. So then Trump claimed it was an Iranian Tomahawk missile. I don't mean to laugh, but it's like he's just a pathetic liar. So now the Defense Department itself has determined preliminarily that it was us, unfortunately. Now, Politico reports that Defense Secretary Hegseth gutted the Pentagon oversight offices that would have investigated the recent strike on an Iranian girls' school, a move that has degraded America's ability to protect civilians amid its largest air campaign in decades. The Pentagon chief last year slashed offices that didn't contribute to his goal of lethality, including the group assisting in limiting risk to civilians. They got rid of 200 Pentagon staffers whose job it is to try to limit civilian casualties in warfare. And Hegseth claimed, and he's right, except he should go to prison for this, Hegseth claimed, that doesn't help us be more lethal because you're trying to limit civilian casualties. That would be true. That would be true. Trying not to kill little innocent girls is the opposite of being lethal. That would be true. These people, yeah. So they gutted the office that may have helped us stop these little girls from being killed. Yeah. Congratulations. New justification. There's a new justification for the war. Woo-woo! I don't think I mentioned this one last night. I told you whenever I do like a show updates in the morning too, I get confused. Witkoff, who's Trump's negotiator, the guy who's been screwing up Ukraine and now screwing up the Middle East, Witkoff claimed that Iran would have had 30 or 40 nuclear missiles next year if Trump didn't invade them and attack right now. Okay, let me put on my debate hat here for anybody who thinks, because people believe them. Their own supporters believe them, okay? Let me try this out on you. So Trump invaded Iran 2 weeks ago, right? Thank you, Brandon. Very nice. That gift is always fun because it shows a different thing comes up at the end. So thank you for that. Let's work with me here, okay? So Trump is now claiming he had to invade Iran because in 1 year they would have had 30 to 40 nuclear bombs. Okay. It's been like 2 weeks since we invaded, week and 2/3. The real reason Trump invaded Iran was because he knew 2 weeks ago that Iran was about to build 30 to 40 nuclear weapons, right? But he didn't tell us. Rather, he said, today I'm going to claim it's missiles we're worried about. And the next day they claimed it was IEDs. And the next day they claimed Iran was getting ready to attack. Remember that one? Iran was getting ready to attack Israel. Right? Oh, we had to go to war because we're going to war anyway. Right? Then they started throwing in the nuclear stuff. But it wasn't until today. First of all, right, if this were true, it wasn't until today that Trump and his people are telling us that the real reason we invaded Iran was because there were going to be 30 to 40 nuclear weapons by next year. Why wouldn't they tell us that the day of the war? Why would they say, no, the real reason is Iran is about to have 30 to 40 nukes, but let's not tell people, let's lie and give a less convincing excuse, right? Let's give, this is the dog who's going to want to go out 20 times, like I said, to go eat stuff. Let's give a less convincing, oh, thank you, Ninja, for becoming a member on YouTube. Appreciate that. Let's give a less convincing explanation of why we invaded Iran. Let's talk about IEDs. Let's talk about ballistic missiles, right? They talked about ICBMs at one point. Intercontinental ballistic, soon, Iran will have missiles that can hit America. And then we found out soon was 10 years from now. So rather, and I'm going to put the fine point on this, rather than tell us from day one that the reason he attacked Iran was because Iran was about to build 30 nukes, they waited until the 12th day of the war to tell us now. If it was true, why wouldn't they tell us on day one? If it was true, why would they have told us 10 other reasons on every other day for why they did this war? Again, right? If it's the truth, why would you hide that truth? By the way, it's not the truth. It's insane. Anybody who knows this issue will tell you, Google it, it's insane. There is no way Iran could get a nuclear weapon at all in a year, let alone 30 to 40 of them. Impossible. Okay? And don't take my word, Donald Trump himself said this in June of this year. Donald Trump said in June of this year that he obliterated Iran's nuclear program, that it was never coming back. Remember, the Defense Intelligence Agency said, oh no, this only set them back a few months in their program. And Trump said, no, no, no. We have obliterated it and it is never going to be able to come back ever again. But literally nobody, he was lying. We didn't obliterate the nuclear program. He was lying. Nobody thinks that Iran was a year away from building a nuke today. And again, as I said, why hide this until now? If it was the truth, again, if Iran was building a nuclear weapon for real, like 30 of them for real, that's what you announce, and the support among the American people would be 95%. I'd support this war if we had that. 95% of the American people would support this war. If you said within 1 year Iran will have 30 nukes, guaranteed. And again, the final point I want to make on this is there's no reason not to, right? Trump is now claiming that Iran would have had 30 nukes next year. Why wouldn't he have told us that on day one? There's no possible reason he wouldn't tell us. It's not like it's a state secret, right? Here, they claimed, they're telling us today. They're lying. He's lying. And we know he's lying. And also, Google this because you'll see what I mean. Literally, there isn't even the Iran hawks, even the people who want to go after Iran, nobody thinks Iran was getting nuclear weapons in a year. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. And the bigger problem, if today Trump is still lying about why we went into Iran, how are we going to win a war that he still doesn't know why we're there? We've got troops there. 7, you guys said 8 yesterday. I'm not seeing the 8. 7 troops at least, 7 service members at least killed. We now know 140 injured. Many of them very serious traumatic brain injuries from this war. This is serious stuff, okay? It costs American lives. It costs American money. We spent over $1 trillion on those other wars, Iraq and Afghanistan. The money matters too, right? Lives come first, and then money. That matters too. This is not some small thing. If you go into a war and you don't know why you're there, you don't know why you started the war, you don't know what the goal is. Because again, if they were going to have 30 to 40 nukes, then we really have to go after the nuclear stuff, right? Then you can't win a war that you don't know why you're fighting it. That's my point, right? I mean, it's like baking a cake, but you don't know what you're baking. How are you going to bake it? I mean, or in business, right? In business, let's create a marketing proposal for a product that I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I want you to create a really good marketing proposal, right? I mean, again, a war. I want you to invade that country, but I'm not going to tell you why. It might be nukes. It might be ballistic missiles. It might be support they're giving to bad regimes in the area. It might be they're just bad dictators, right? It might be that they're getting ready to attack Israel. I'm not going to tell you. So how do you invade? Do you invade and focus on the missiles? Do you invade and focus on the boats because of the canal? Do you the straits? Do you invade and focus on the support they're giving to regimes in the area? Not regimes anymore, but people like the Houthis or the Hezbollah, right? If you can't define why you went to war, you won't be able to define what your goals are, because the goals are based on why you went in. What's the threat that made us go to war? Let's take out that threat. Then you won't take out the threat if you don't know what the threat. I mean, this is like Fisher Price War 101, right? My first war. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to war, kids, he needs like a Saturday. We should have created like a Saturday morning cartoon for Trump, right? Hey kids, let's talk about going to war. The first thing you do is decide why you're going to war. Oh, break for tea and cookie or milk and cookies. I mean, it's just absolutely, it is like an SNL idea. It really is. Like if had they only broken it down on like an Etch-a-Sketch, maybe Trump could have figured this out. What else we got here? Trump is now calling the war an excursion. This one I'm going to pull up. This I find really incredibly offensive. Again, 7 U.S. service members at least are dead. We know 140 are wounded, many of them seriously, that Trump hid. He wasn't going to tell us that they were wounded. Now we know they're wounded. And he's calling it an excursion now. Listen to this.
It's great. When you're expensing, everyone loves it. And we did a little excursion. We had to take this little few weeks of excursion, but it's been incredible. Our military is unbelievable, the job they're doing. I would say, to put it mildly, way ahead of schedule. We've knocked out their Navy, their military in all forms. We've knocked out just about everything there is, including their leadership. Twice. We knocked out twice their leadership, and now they have a new group coming up. Let's see what happens to them.
Excursion. It's an excursion. It's just an excursion. He went on to say, the war's basically over. We've already hit all the targets. There's nothing else to hit. And they said, well, when's the war going to end? The war will end when I decide. Right? Not when we hit all the targets that have planned. The war is going to end when he decides, based on his excursion. The excursion that just happened to kill a number of U.S. troops. Thank you, Jean. You are being crazy generous today. Thank you, darling. Trump also said today, I told you the war is basically over. Oh, Trump said 2 things today. He said today, the war is basically over. We've hit all, there's no more targets to hit. Then he went on later and said, we are not leaving until the job is finished. So earlier today, the war is basically over. We've hit all the targets. Literally, he said there's no more targets to hit. And then later he said, we're not leaving until the job is finished. What job would that be since all the targets are hit? And you keep, again, which job would that be? Would that be the IED job, the support for proxies in the region job, the Iran's going to attack Israel job, Iran's missiles job, their ballistic missiles, their nuclear goals? Right? I mean, which job is that? I'm a little confused here. Oman said earlier this morning it downed a drone in the sea north of a port city. There's also video being shared of a massive oil fire at a storage tank in Oman. The UAE reported its air defenses were engaged with missiles and drone attacks originating from Iran, and Qatar as well faced a missile attack from Iran. All right, crazy. What are you doing? Okay, I don't even know what that is. All right, whatever. Dog's getting old. She's getting whiny. What else we got? Iran said today that we should... sorry. Iran also attacked 3 cargo ships in or near the Strait of Hormuz overnight. Iran is also in possession of an estimated 5,000 to 6,000 naval mines, according to a report from Congress. Iran said today that we should prepare for $200 a barrel oil. The experts are saying not really. Oil right now, I don't know where it is like now. It was settling in the 80-something range. It went up a bit today. I can pull up my handy. I don't trust ChatGPT on this one. I wonder if ChatGPT would get it right. You know what? Let's ask ChatGPT just for fun, and at the same time, somebody actually just pull up the website that has it. Let's see if ChatGPT gets it right, but pull up the website and see. Oh, which oil? What is the current price? What is the current price of a U.S. barrel of oil? I think that's WTI.
Of West Texas Intermediate crude oil, also known as WTI, is around $87.33 per barrel. If you need any updates or
I want you to find me the exact current price.
The current price of West Texas Intermediate or WTI crude oil is about $87.94.
Okay. For everybody online, was he right? Is that correct? I know I'm being mean to boyfriend, but he gets on my nerves sometimes. Is it correct? So it is correct. It got it right? So it's around 87. So it's up a bit. It got into the lower. It's 89. Okay, 89, 88. Look, it's in the ballpark. ChatGPT has its issues. For it to be within $1 or $2 is pretty good. I wanted to know the ballpark. So within the ballpark, it's upper 80s. That's a little higher than it was. This weekend, it jumped to 130, which was very high. Then it dropped to maybe low 80s. Now it's getting a little higher again. Now, U.S. gasoline prices did not go up too much earlier today when I looked. Well, really? Okay, come on back in, Weinekins. U.S. gasoline prices had gone up a little bit today, but earlier when I checked, not by much. No, they're not going down, which is bad. But let me see here, gasoline prices. Gas Buddy is very good for this. Gas Buddy. Here we go. Gas Tools, gas price charts. Here we go. It looks like it's $3.60 a barrel is the current, $3.60 a gallon, excuse me, is the current U.S. gas price. So it went up a little bit today, but not by, actually, yeah, today it only went up a very small amount. It may have gone up a penny or two today. That's better, but it's still going up, which is interesting, right? I mean, you're still seeing gasoline prices going up. That's per gallon, which is approximately, well, as we talked, there's different liters. A general European liter is like 3.8 liters to a gallon, more or less. So for us, the easy way is just to divide a gallon in 4 for liters, but that's not always right. What else we got here? The Iran made an interesting other threat today. Iran said today it was no longer going to be doing reciprocal hits. It was going to start doing continuous hits on its neighbors, meaning reciprocal hits mean Iran gets hit and they hit back, right? Now they're saying they're just going to keep hitting all their neighbors, which frankly is smart in the sense that, look, if you're trying to figure out what Iran's going to, I mean, Trump's people were just, or not Trump's people, but the Pentagon knew this, but Trump is a blithering idiot. Trump said, for example, I talked about this yesterday, no, I had no idea Iran was going to attack its neighbors. Who could have predicted that? Anybody who's paid attention to this issue for the last 50 years, literally, that was the first thing Iran would do, would attack its neighbors. Iran, if Iran wants to save itself, it has to go after energy in the region, go after all of it, and basically make it so that the region knows and America knows and Trump knows and the American electorate knows that oil and gas is going to go through the roof, like to literally $200 a barrel. That's Iran's threat, and Iran has to follow through on the threat, at least make the threat credible if it wants to have any chance of winning this war. I don't want them to do that, but this is not rocket science. Everybody knows that if Iran is threatened existentially, then they will take us down with them by going after gas and oil. And again, we're talking about a terrorist regime, which is what the Iranian government is. No question in the world. Iran, one of the worst governments in the world, pure terrorist regime, absolutely dictatorship, horrific, and terrorist. the notion that these guys wouldn't want to bring us down with them, that's literally what they live for. So this is not rocket science, right? But the idea of them going after oil and gas, come on, right? Simple, 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 simple. Very simple. And I'm not going to get into any little false, because whenever I bring this up, we always get the false equivalence people. If you don't know the difference between the regime in Iran and even Donald Trump, I got news for you. Trump is horrific, but the regime in Iran, we're not a dictatorship yet. They are. They killed 20,000 people peacefully protesting in the street. He hasn't. He's horrible, but he hasn't done that. So, I mean, we're not even, and Israel hasn't done that either, frankly. Yeah, no comparison at all. I'm not going to get into it, but let's not, what I don't like about these things is it tries to minimize horrific governments. People try to do this with Iran. They try to do this with other governments. Where they go, well, you're not so good either, because you want to justify the murder of civilians. You want to justify a literal terrorist government. No, we're not going to do that. All right. More here. Beep, 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 beep. The U.S. military warned Iranian civilians to stay away from ports along the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is using the ports to basically attack international shipping. The thinking is, oh, she's up on the couch now. The thinking is that Iran is going to, that the U.S. military is basically going to blow up all the ports along the Strait of Hormuz that Iran is using. And because, yeah, they're civilian ports which you're not supposed to blow up, but if civilian ports get used by the military, then you can blow them up. So that clearly seems to be what we're going to do next. CBS News reports the Iranian drone attack in Kuwait that killed U.S. service members in the early hours of the war. More severely injured American troops than was reported, with dozens suffering injuries that included brain trauma, shrapnel trauma, and burns. More than 30 remain in hospitals with battle injuries. Basically, the Trump people lied to us. They claimed, I Googled this. I saw a news report the other day that said, literally from 2 or 3 days ago, that said, 8th U.S. service member in hospital for serious injury. 8th, the 8th. There were 140. There were 140. And they let slip, oh, there's an 8th. Yeah, there's an 8th, and there's actually a 9th, a 10th, a 50th, and 139th as well. They didn't bother telling us that. I mean, they lied to us about how many troops were hurt. And again, not surprised. You should believe nothing this man says, but it's still pretty sick that they're lying about the number of troops that are injured. Iran's new supreme leader, Moqtab Khamenei, who's the son of the guy we killed, he was reportedly injured in one of the U.S.-Israeli attacks, has a fractured foot and facial lacerations. The Russians are at it again. Big surprise. So right after Donald Trump and his top negotiator claimed, I talked to Putin, and Putin said, he's not trying to kill Americans. He's not helping Iran target Americans. And then Trump said that. And then Trump's top negotiator said, no, I trust him. I trust Putin. Thank you, Mail. I trust Putin. Well, apparently you shouldn't have trusted Putin because he is trying to kill Americans. What a surprise. CNN reports that Russia is helping Iran with advanced drone tactics from the war in Ukraine. They're helping the Iranians better use drones to kill us from all the experience they got in Ukraine. Again, Trump said, oh, I talked to Putin. He said he's not trying to help the Iranians kill us. And then top negotiator Witkoff said, I take them at their word. Putin said, no, I take them at their word. Guys, we are many years beyond naive at this point. Donald Trump is not letting the Russians attack our troops with impunity because he's naive. He's letting the Russians help the Iranians kill our troops because it's a feature. As they say, it's not a glitch, it's a feature. He's doing this on purpose. Jeffrey Sachs, I will watch Jeffrey Sachs when crows pull my eyes out. Jeffrey Sachs is this charlatan who's a pro-Putin charlatan that, like, basically extremists like to propose. He's a complete freaking, he used to be a smart economist like 20, 30 years ago and then went wacko. Absolute wacko. Yeah, I'll follow Jeffrey Sachs when, like I said, when crows pluck my eyes out, then I'll watch Jeffrey Sachs. Oh, horrific, absolutely horrific. This guy, total Russian suck up. The Russians like to invite him to speak at the UN on their behalf. That should tell you something, right? How many people do you know who the Russians invite to speak on their behalf, who are credible sources for objective information? None, in fact. What else we got here? New York Times, Iran has kept many missiles in reserve. Oh, this is funny. So Trump today said, the war's really almost over. We've hit every target. There's no targets left because we did so well. New York Times, Iran has kept many missiles in reserve to strike at important battlefield targets like American radars. Pentagon officials told lawmakers in confidential briefings on Capitol Hill that Iran retains as much as 50% of its missiles and launchers. Yay! Ahmadinejad. Remember Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, who's the guy who used to be Iran's president, short black hair, kind of a jerk. We didn't like him. Obviously, he's as bad as the rest of them. Well, remember they told us at the beginning of the war, either the U.S. or Israel bombed his compound and killed him. He's another bad guy, gone. Well, he's gone, but he's not dead. We actually freed him from prison. The latest story is he was actually in trouble with the Iranian government. They had him in prison, and we bombed the prison and set him free. So now this horrific terrorist ringleader who used to run Iran is now free thanks to us in Israel. Oops! Oops! Oh, well, what do you do? That story just kind of cracked me up. Washington Post. Speaking of stories to crack you up, Defense Secretary Hegseth, you know Hegseth, pretty boy, greased hair, right? Hegseth, I'm looking at my hair today and going, I am getting a little bit of Hegseth hair today. Hegseth, who's our defense secretary, very important that he look good with his tight suits and stuff. Hegseth has barred photojournalists from the daily briefing. Photographers can now no longer come to the daily briefing about Iran because they published photos of Hegseth that his staff deemed unflattering, according to two sources. The media took pictures of him at the morning briefing, and the staff said the pictures did not make him look flattering. So they've banned reporters with cameras from the briefing until they take more flattering photos of Hegseth because he didn't look pretty enough in the photos. Very, very alpha male. Is that how you make the military more lethal? I'm just kind of curious. By posing for pretty photos, is that like I'm not really in the alpha male mode. Maybe some of those guys could tell us. Is that what you do? You kind of preen for the cameras and kick people out because my photo wasn't pretty enough? Is that the new, more lethal military that Trump promised us? I mean, these people are they're unbelievable. They're just unbelievable. Public support for the war. So this was interesting. Although I think I keep forgetting, guys. No, I did have this one. This one I had last night for you guys. The public support for the war. I did read you guys last night. Harry Enton, CNN's Harry Enton had a really interesting analysis on the elections coming up. We have congressional elections in the fall, U.S. Senate, U.S. House of Representatives, both. U.S. House, everyone thought Democrats were going to win. They still do. U.S. Senate, clearly Republicans were going to win. Now, looks like it's changing. Listen to this. Harry Enton tweets this. Trump and GOP have a big freaking problem. This is from Harry Enton, the polling analyst at CNN. Trump's net approval has now been underwater for a year. He has the worst net approval with independents at this point in term 2 of any president this century. The effect? Dems have a very real chance of winning the Senate, not just the House. That's the clearest that I have found yet. I've told you guys this. He says Democrats have a very real chance of winning the Senate, not just the House, because Trump is so unpopular. This is why Trump is desperate to pass that election legislation he's talking about, that SAVE Act. They're trying to pass legislation that they think will make it harder for Democrats to vote. This is why. They're terrified that Trump has spoiled everything for Republican voters, and that's what they're afraid of. Bottom line, and we've talked about this before, TikTok doesn't like it when we talk about this topic, so I always have to be careful with this. But Google, we do not have significant election fraud at all in America. It doesn't exist. It is one of the actually impressive things about our democracy. We have, when I say a handful, I mean literally a handful. Over the last 20 years, every single election, billions of votes, there's like 100 people who cheated. out of a billion or 2 billion. It's crazy. The average, I think for Pennsylvania was 1 a year. One fake, not even a fake vote, a fake voter. Most of the time they don't even vote. The fake voters, they don't even vote, but they're fake voters. 1 in the state of Pennsylvania, 1 a year, and they don't even vote. Therefore, you have to ask yourself, why are they trying to pass legislation to fix elections if there's nothing to be fixed? What's the real goal? Because people defending them go, well, why don't we do it anyway? Right? Why don't we do it anyway? I would respond, well, if there's literally no problem, if we literally have nobody cheating, I mean, nobody, it's minuscule. It's literally like 1 or 2 people. There's nobody cheating. Why are they so hell-bent on passing this bill? Because they think the bill's going to do something else. They know the bill isn't going to stop illegal voting because there isn't any. There isn't any significant illegal voting. So the bill must do something else. We know what it does. The bill is intended to stop Democrats from voting. We've talked about this before. We would have to all go re-register to vote. We would have to get our birth certificates. Most people don't have their birth certificate. If you're a woman, you're screwed because your birth certificate has a different name than your passport or your driver's license. No, because you got to prove you're a citizen. The only way to prove you're a citizen in America is with a passport or a birth certificate. Most people don't have either. Only half of Americans have passports. To buy a passport, $165 if you want to buy a passport. A lot of people, that would be prohibitive for them to pay $165. Now, the irony, though, is the people who couldn't afford a passport to prove who they are would be Democrats, but also Republican voters. A lot of Trump voters could not afford $165. But birth certificates, a lot of people don't have them. You get it. You get it. This is meant to scare people away from voting to convince people not to vote. It's very obvious. Reuters, a foreign hacker in 2023, compromised the Epstein files held by the FBI. The hacker thought that he had broken into, I'm trying to say this nicely. The hacker thought that he had broken into a private individual's computer that was collecting smutty stuff, right? So the hacker thought it was actually a man who was collecting stuff about young girls and stuff, right? So the hacker contacted the FBI to report the Epstein files. And the FBI had to get on a video call with the hacker to say, no, this was actually these are our files. But the files were so outrageous, which is kind of interesting. The files were so horrific that a hacker in another country, we believe another country, saw the files and thought this was a man who abuses children, right? Also, the question then becomes, who else now has the files, right? Do foreign governments now have these files? The fact that Trump is desperate not to release all these files means these files are now a security risk. If you are desperate for something not to go public, you are now a security risk. Is Trump now a security risk? Yes. Senate Republicans just blocked a Democratic bill to fully fund the TSA. There we go. See? There you go. I knew it. Senate Republicans just blocked a Democratic bill to fully fund the TSA. So if things are going slow at the airports, you now know who's causing it. And Trump is forcing the men working, oh my God, Trump is forcing the men working for him to wear special shoes that he's ordered for them. He's ordering them all shoes, first of all, shoes made in China, which is the funniest damn thing of all. The shoes are made in China. I meant to grab the picture. I don't know if I grabbed it. The shoes are made in China, and he's making them, oh shit. I've got, actually, I do have a picture of the one. I don't have a, oh, here we go. I do have them. Yeah. They're all wearing the same shoes now because he's ordered them shoes. But the funny part with their floor shame, but they're made in China. He's ordered them all the same pair of shoes. The problem is he, like, I think is guessing their shoe size. Check this out. These are Marco Rubio's shoes. This is a real professional photo. These are Marco Rubio's shoes. Look at the back of the shoe. I'll show you guys. Look at the back of the shoe. He's got like an extra inch at the back of the shoe. This is a real photo. It's a zoomed in photo of Rubio talking to this guy, and I've seen the original. Yeah. So, and the thinking now is, did Trump do that to Rubio on purpose, right? I mean, did Trump do that to Rubio to basically screw with Rubio, right? I mean, to show him that he's, to show him that he's not that big a man, right? Gotta wonder. I think he did. I mean, how freaking hard is it to actually, adjust my camera here. How hard is it to like get the right size shoe for somebody? I mean, it's not rocket science here. But Trump, and of course, and because Trump is Trump, his staff can't tell him and say, well, you're buying the wrong shoes for people. You're buying the wrong size. Oh, God forbid, right? God forbid. Horrible. Anyway, oh my God. All right, guys, let's hang for a little. And we're done relatively early. It's relatively early. We'll hang for a little bit. Anyway, who buys shoes for people? Donald Trump, and then he buys the wrong ones. But I love that. David Frum goes, they're made in China. He's buying cheap shoes made in China. Oh, you got water? You're all right. You all right for now? All right. The dog is wandering around. Does Ruby have a wife? Oh, he's got a wife. Oh, yeah. He's got wife and kids. Yep. I'm feeling fine. I was just exhausted the other day. I feel fine, though. Thank you, wise guy. Appreciate that. Anyway, the gold shoes. What are the gold shoes? What do you want, dog? Let me give the dog a little water just to get her to leave me alone. What are you doing, huh? A little bit of water? A little bit of water. Let's try that. All right? There you go. We're going to do this one too. See if that one shuts you up. Now it's gonna. Oh, Jesus. Watch out, son. All right. We'll see. Oh, my God. The weather here was 80 degrees today, and tomorrow's going to be 34. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? 34 and possibly snowing. It was 82 or 83 today. Like, oh, thank you for the gift. Here's a Francesca. Thank you. Grazie. Yeah, 80 something. It was 83 or whatever, and it's going to be 34. I'm like, come on. I just can't. I'm supposed to go for coffee with a friend tomorrow, and I'm like, 34 or 36? Man, it's snowing in Chicago. This is Washington, D.C. We had beautiful weather for 2 days, and now I'm afraid because I don't want it to kill my plants, you know? What do we got? Well, the interesting thing with Rubio, though, is I was looking today, and apparently Rubio's poll numbers are going up with Republicans. Republicans like what they're seeing with Rubio, with all the Trump stuff. So actually, this has been quite beneficial for Rubio, all of his sort of the high-profile stuff he's doing with Trump. And go to Greece, I know. So very interesting in that regard. You know, he's actually been getting benefit out of all of this in terms of wanting to run for president. Honestly, he's a little guy. I don't think he can succeed as president. Who knows? I mean, running for president, you never know, I guess. But I don't think he's very, he's small. He's very serious. I don't think he has much of a personality. He always looks like he did something. He looks like a little boy who did something wrong, you know? Like a very good boy, but who's done something wrong. So he's always looking like, you know, Marco, what did you do? But there's no personality there. There's literally, does he laugh? There's no personality there at all, you know? I can't imagine he's gonna, you know. We'll see. Then again, if he's the only one who gets it, then, you know, he could win, I guess, right? Oh, my God. Really? Fine. Go. Crazy. Ugh, crazy. Rubio. Well, he had to be born here if he's going to run for president, so yes. Must have been. Yep. I don't know, but he's also young enough that his parents would have been born in Cuba. He would have been born here. They would have come like after the initial escape from Cuba. But he has to be born in the U.S. to run for president. So the very fact that he's run before means he was born here. Probably born in Florida. That's a very good guess, Nino. Yeah, because he's Cuban. So usually a good guess. Not always, but usually. Miami, yeah exactly. He was born in Florida. Yep, I figured. So, anyway, what else? Yep. Of course they did. Of course they did. Yep. TikTok got upset we were talking about the election. I got a warning. I mean, classic. This is going to be a problem going into the actual election, though, with these kind of games they're playing. They're still playing these games. Literally, they gave me a warning. What we discussed about the election, they gave me a warning, guys. That was the most milquetoast discussion. Thank you, Blue. That was the most milquetoast discussion we could ever have, what we talked about. And there's literally gave me a little restriction warning because they didn't like the topic. I mean, we literally talked about poll numbers. Yeah. Yeah. And you heard what we talked about. Oh, and the legislation and the facts about the elections. Yeah. No, you can't talk about that topic at all without getting punished on TikTok. Always. It used to be that way with Ukraine too. They used to come down and punish us left and right for talking about for being pro-Ukraine. Always. It's not a matter of being snowflakes, Nino. It's much worse than being snowflakes. It's not a matter of being snowflakes. It's a matter of not wanting to have voices that are disagreeing with El Duque, or Il Duce. That's what it unfortunately is. Thank you, HH Cheetah. Anybody wants to give gifts, feel free. Oh my God, that's right. I read a French paper that the most famous episode we had, but yes, anybody wants to give TikTok gifts, you may. The most famous situation we had was when I speak French and we were talking about Ukraine, and there was a story in Le Monde, possibly the most famous newspaper in the world, or certainly I would say the oldest in terms of old, august fame. Le Monde is huge. And I'm reading an article. Thank you for the gifts, guys. I'm reading an article about Macron, the president of France. Thank you, Blue. Oh, that gets you a goat, Blue. About President Macron and why he changed his mind on Putin and became such a hawk. So yes, give me a pick of which goat you'd like, Blue. And the article was about why Macron had changed and become such a hawk vis-a-vis Putin, whereas initially he was conciliatory. And I'm literally reading the paragraph. Oh, Flower Lady, thank you. That's a Trump wig too. Okay, so we have a goat and a Trump wig here. Thank you, guys. We will do Trump wig. Oops, there we go. We do have a goat too. Did Blue tell us which goat? But yeah, so I'm reading the article and it's literally explaining why President Macron changed his view. TikTok banned me for a week for reading and the best part was, like, I appealed it and I even heard back and they said, yeah, they said they're not gonna unban you, like, for reading Le Monde, for translating an article from Le Monde. I mean, yeah, insane. Oh, you coming back? And we're back, and she's back because there's literally nothing for you to eat out there, but she's trying. She's trying. Oh well. Anyway. Ooh la la la. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la la. Anyway. Yeah, that was a fun one, though. That was a fun one. Anyway, you morons. Complete fucking morons. Anyway. All right. Thank you for that. What else? So we're done going through the news. I know, I love my dino shirt. Thank you. I can't. She wants to eat sticks and leaves. I know. Yours wants to, oh God, yeah, I know, your poor dog. Ashley had to go to the emergency vet again with her dog. Ugh, horrible. Hi, hello. Are we jumping up to say hi now? Okay, hello. Actually, you know what? You can take your collar off. Yes, sometimes your collar gets stuck. There we go. Now she wants to play. The mattress has been very good. I've been very happy. My back was still bothering me this week, but I slept well, which was good. But my back was still bothering me a bit. But I'm using a. Oh, thank you. Those are fun. Thank you, Terry. But oh, that is thunder. I thought there's thunder. Oh, there is. The sky was looking dark, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. Hi, you're fine. Relax. The sky was looking dark, and it's thunder. Huh? That's funny. But I think it's just like a thunder cloud. That was weird. Oops, sorry, Sash. Sorry, dog. When you kick your dog by accident. Oops, sorry. Anyway, but yes, it's I sleep on it well, so let's just see if the back. I've got to go to another spine specialist on Friday. I'm like, oh God, I'm tired of this, issues with vertebra pinching and everything else, That is not the moon. You're looking at my lights. Or a UFO on TikTok. Those are my lights from up there reflected in the window. So sorry. What else we got, guys? Tornado watches. I did hear that about tornado watches. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. And then tomorrow it's going to be 34, whatever. Actually, I did ask my doctor about chiropractors. And he said, he said, when you're talking about, your spine pinching nerves, he goes, I don't like the idea of chiropractors getting near that. So, which is what I thought, but I figured I'd ask him. I was like, all right, no, we're not doing that then. Yeah, I think UFO it's much cooler to think of it as a UFO. But you had one in Kankakee yesterday. What, a UFO? Or a chiropractor? Blueski. Did you guys see that? Senator Kennedy, not the good one. Senator Kennedy was bitching at some guy from Cato who's really good. David Beer is his name. Beer, B-I-E-R, from Cato Institute. I follow him on Twitter. He's very good. And he's talking to the senator. The senator's got him testifying. And the senator is trying to cast David as an extremist. You said, Kennedy, oh my, I've got to pull up the tape. Kennedy is the one who pretends he's got a Southern accent and doesn't. And there's video of him. Hold on. Let's find this. Senator Kennedy changing accent. There's video of him before ChatGPT, right? Before you could fake these things well. And there's video of him with his old accent. And it's the funniest damn thing. Here we go. User clip. This is from even better, C-SPAN. Somebody went on to C-SPAN to get this is perfect, actually. Somebody went on to C-SPAN to get this because C-SPAN is the kind of a independent nonprofit, very boring, that televises Congress. They literally televise Congress. That's all they do. So they're 100% trustworthy because they just post the videos. So this is the video on C-SPAN of Kennedy, who's got his accent. Actually, hold on here. I need to find a today video of him. Let me find a video of him today. Senator Kennedy videos, and then we're going to find that one. Here we go. On the this should work. I'm just trying to find like a good example. Any of these probably should work. Oh, because this is a couple days ago. Here. Hold on.
A factor that led to
I'm trying to find. Come on.
ousting. Reporting is that you talked to the White House before that questioning.
Listen to the accent.
I'm curious how that all came together to talk to the secretary about the price tag of that ad.
Well, there's nothing extraordinary about what I did. There's nothing mysterious about what I did. I did my job as a senator.
There's nothing extraordinary about what I did. I did my job as a senator, right? Even those of you who aren't American, Canadians, we know you. Hey, will you relax? We know the Canadians can hear this. Even I'm curious about the Brits. The Brits, I'm assuming you can hear that, right? Even though, right, my job as a senator, right, you can hear the drawl, right? Listen to the way he used to talk as an adult. This is from C-SPAN.
You have 30 seconds.
Well, to answer your question, I think clearly we sent in enough troops to win the war. We emphasized technology, but we didn't send in enough troops initially to restore the country. Our problem was not having an exit strategy. I think Yogi Berra used to say, if you don't know where you're going when you
He has a slight Southern accent. He's got more of a slight Southern accent like this, basically, right? He kind of talks, I'm not going to do a Southern accent, but it's kind of like talking like this. He doesn't talk like this, which is the way he talks today. He totally fakes his accent whenever he does any interviews. So he's interviewing the guy, and it's a wonderful interview. I must have this on, I'm sure I've got it on Twitter. Hold on. I can find this on Twitter because I had retweeted it and said I knew there was a reason I was following this guy because it was so good. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's long, but it was very, it was great because he goes like, you accused the Trump administration of ethnic cleansing. And he goes, yes. How could you say that? And this, hold on a second. Where is this? I could always just find his, oh, here we go.
Your hyperbolic statements undermine your credibility.
What hyperbolic statement did I make?
On February the 11th, 2026,
I mean,
you posted on Bluesky,
Bluesky for Blue Sky.
quote, my words, or your words, not mine. The Democrats' video telling service members to ignore illegal orders didn't go far enough. They should have also urged them to refuse unethical orders, whether illegal or not. There are many things deemed legal that are still obviously.
They're talking about when the Democratic senators and Congress people correctly told the troops, they put out a video telling the troops, you cannot follow illegal orders. It is against the law for a U.S. soldier to follow illegal orders. He then tweeted or something and said they shouldn't just refuse to follow illegal orders, they should refuse to follow unethical orders as well. So the senator's now reading that and going, you said they shouldn't follow unethical orders either. And he's trying to do an I gotcha. Watch what happens.
Unethical, and everyone should hold themselves to this higher law, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
I believe you did. Do you disagree with it? You think people should do unethical things in their capacity
on December the 31st of 2025, you posted in front of God.
But wait. Do you disagree with what I said?
Let me finish my question.
I'm sorry.
Answer, sir. Sure. In front of God and country.
Do you disagree with what I said?
You said, quote, they, referring to Republicans, think they can troll their way into us accepting ethnic cleansing. End quote. Your words, not mine. Did I read that correctly?
That was in regard to a Department of Homeland Security post about advocating 100 million deportations. That is what DHS has tweeted from their own account. 100 million deportations would be ethnic cleansing. You would be removing 1/3 of the country.
He's saying,
so,
yeah.
Yes, there are people within the Department of Homeland Security.
And you don't think this is hyperbolic? Give me 30 more seconds.
I think advocating 100 million deportations is
I'm having fun here,
ethnic
Mr. Chairman.
cleansing.
On February 5th,
Yeah, he just called it, which is great because he just called him on it. He was like,
you said the following on Bluesky.
Your time's up.
These are all good, but there's no enforcement mechanism. I'm sorry. Let me try a better one. On March 2nd,
that wasn't a good quote. He's like, oh, okay.
If you
get it.
rule against Trump.
It was, I mean, but I love this guy, and there's more in that. He just kept giving back to him. Everything he was saying, he just threw it back at him. It was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely. But I love that. He goes, it is ethnic cleansing. But unethical. He goes, you think our soldiers should follow unethical order? They should do things they think are unethical? Really? I've never seen somebody do that at a hearing before, ever. That Bluesky. You wrote on Bluesky. Blue Sky. What is he, North Carolina? I remember. Oh, hey, Franny, thank you for that. You needed that laugh. Well, and then there's a longer, I mean, you can Google it. There's a longer video. It's just Senator Kennedy and I think it's David Beer, but it's B-I-E-R. Louisiana. Oh, he's Louisiana. Thank you. Louisiana. B-I-E-R. But yeah, his accent's totally fake. And he loves to do the fake accent. Oh, and he comes up with these good old boy expressions. But I love that guy. He just totally threw it back at him. No one does that at a hearing. Nobody does. But also, it's kind of easy because, I don't know why would you want him there? I mean, this was a staff screw up as far as that goes. You know, you don't invite somebody whose reputation, if you asked around, is that guy is smart and he will eat your boss for lunch. You will never embarrass him, right? You will never embarrass him. You will never trick him. He will embarrass you and make you look stupid. Like if I were working on I worked in the U.S. Senate. I would have told my boss, you do not want to interview somebody like this. Do not have him testify. Because also, they weren't hauling him in like because he did some crime. They didn't like what he tweeted calling, the Trump policies ethnic cleansing. There's literally no legal threat to him testifying as long as he tells the truth so that he can't get in trouble. So that's why he was like, okay, we'll just go and, Anyway, no, we're talking about a guy who works at Cato Institute who testified before Republicans in the Senate and destroyed them. They were trying to get him because he called Trump's policy of immigration ethnic cleansing. And he reads, but again, and the guy goes, he reads the quote, he goes, 100 million immigration deportations is ethnic cleansing. Don't you think that's a bit extreme? And he goes, 100 million deportations in a country of 330 million people? Yeah, he goes, yeah, I'd call that ethnic cleansing. What would you call it? And, well, also what he said too is he goes, we've got 30, 40, like how many Latinos? 60 million Latinos if you go high? And you want to kick out 100 million people, which means you're going to have to start kicking out American, not even Latinos, people in this country who aren't natives. Hold on a second. Alexa, how many American citizens reside in America and about the total population? Oh, fuck it. Alexa, stop. That's already way too complicated for Alexa. Let's ask ChatGPT. See, this is yeah, Alexa, stop. That wasn't my question. Let's ask ChatGPT. So I know there's around 340 million people in our country, the population, but what number of that population are American citizens?
As of July 2025, the total U.S. population is estimated about 341.8 million people. While there isn't an exact official number, it's estimated that around 80% of them, approximately 265 million, are American citizens either by birth or naturalization.
Okay, so that would mean there's 80 million non-Americans living in the U.S.
Roughly, yes. That would include permanent residents, other visa holders,
That's fine.
undocumented immigrants, and other non-citizen categories.
Yep. So that was his point. He goes, so if you're kicking out, I've tried Claude once, but it started making me, I've tried it. I didn't love it. I could try it again. I tried it for legal stuff. I didn't like it. So his point was, so there's 80 million non-citizens. You want to kick them all. You want to kick out 100 million. That means literally everybody who's not a citizen gets kicked out, which is insane because a lot of them are here legally. But you also want to kick out 20 million Americans. You're going to have to kick out 20 million Americans to get to 100 million deportations because it's literally ethnic cleansing. It was pretty funny. He was very good. I mean, of course they're here legally. They're here legally. Yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Beer is the German word for beer. Yeah. He doesn't pronounce it beer though. He pronounces it beer. I'm sorry. He pronounces it beer, not Bayer. Yeah. Sounds like beer in his beer. But how do they say it in German? Do they say beer? He says beer in English because he even puts how to say it in his profile. Anyway. Oh, my God. Anyway, what else, folks? Otherwise, we're pretty much done here. It is pronounced like beer. Okay, that's what he pronounces it. Bia. No, he's not. Fake person. Actually, make sure you report and block the guy on TikTok, guys. The fake person offering money to people. That's always a scam. You'll get yourself in trouble on TikTok if you respond to those people. You never, ever, 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 ever want to. Make sure you report them too if you would. You never want to respond to people who go, the first 5 people, bullshit. They're scammers who probably are there to take your money. Excuse me. They're scammers who are there to take your money. They're not, thanks, Ash. They're not probably there to take your money. They're there to take your money. Yeah. What happened with oil in the Middle East? What do you mean? Still there, still getting bombed by the Iranians. So, Anyway, oh man. Anyway. Well, I think we're almost done for the evening, guys. I hear you, dog. I know. Only one more hour of feeding you again. Oh my God, just wait. It's like Sarah Bernhardt with this one. It's like, oh my God. I want my treat. I'm dying. I know you want your treat. I know. You'll have to wait, though. It's coming shortly. Did Israel hit North Korea? I doubt it. That'd be fun if they did, but I doubt it. Like, I can't imagine they did, but it would be pretty funny if they did. I mean, it'd be scary if they did, but it'd be pretty funny if they did, too. North Korea, sadly, has nukes. Otherwise, it'd be nice to hit them, but they would destroy South Korea, so. But they deserve to be hit, absolutely. She is a good girl. She's just a royal pain in the ass. So, hello. I know. Hi. Love you, too. Well, the funny part is once they get her to bed, she's fine. Like, if I get her to bed, if I climb into bed early, like at 9 o'clock to watch TV for a couple hours, then she's fine. But now is like, treat, water, treat, food, treat. It's like, oh my God, you're the neediest mom ever. We did the wig. You're my girl. You're my needy girlfriend or my needy grandma, aren't you? My grandma was less needy than you. Little bit less needy than you. Little bit. I know. Blue does need to go, but Blue didn't tell me what goat Blue wanted. All right, I'm just going to let's pick Christmas goat. He sounds like the other goats, but he is kind of pretty. We'll do one more. There we go. In honor of Blue, we did Christmas goat, which we have not done in a while. The time change, she adjusted quite quickly. The time change meant Sasha's feeding would be an hour later, but she adjusted very quickly to wanting her feeding now. So big surprise on that one. The time change did not spare me at all. What do you do? It's okay. Anyway, guys, all right, I'm gonna head out. I don't think I missed any other gifts. I don't think I did I? I don't think so. Let me know if I did. But thank you all for your support. I'll be back tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, U.S. Remember, our time changed, so do check what time it really is in Washington, D.C. or New York City, same time zone. And I will be back mañana. Thank you. I know this is my dino shirt. I like my shirt. All right, guys. Oh, shake. It says shake your head because the gold coins come out of the hat. That's cute. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'm going to go rescue the pooch and give her little treats. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Discord, we'll start with you. Goodbye, Discord. Thank you. There we go. All right. YouTube and everybody here. TikTok, you're last. YouTube and everybody, have a good night.